Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a swatch party, let's call it. Actually, someone called the another video that I did on Makeup Geek eyeshadows a swatch party, and I love swatch parties. Or a swatch fest, was it? Anyways, either of them you want to call them, today we are swatching and taking a look at the new Makeup Geek Soft Focus eyeshadows. These are an extension of their matte range in soft focus pastel tones, and I have received them in PR in this beautiful palette, which is their standard travel sized palette. It's one of my favorite. I have bought myself one of these in the past. It's really sturdy. It has a beautiful mirror. I can't recommend it more. The only thing I don't like of the palette is, of course, that as you can see, it doesn't fit the eyeshadows snug, which is a problem for all of the Makeup Geek eyeshadow palettes or the empty palettes right now. But I think it's because they want to fit also in here, like for face powders, something like that. Anyways, today we're talking about these pastel eyeshadows. So the story of these is that actually they were supposed to launch earlier in the year, but due to COVID and restrictions, of course, for closing down their facilities, they only released the 1st of July, and then they released first for the public, for everyone, and then they sent PR later. So I received the PR this month, well, last month because it's the beginning of September, but I received it in August. And the idea for these is that they will go and fit into the matrix system in place of the foiled eyeshadow. Let me show you the colorful matrix that they have. It's this guy right here. I'm missing a few colors because I'm gonna compare them with the new eyeshadows. But you can see that the top row here is all foils. This is also was sent to me, and this is how they released. They've been used and loved, so sorry if they're a bit dirty. What they're going to do is substitute the first row when you buy the full matrix with the just matte. So you're gonna have a full colorful matte palette and a full neutral matte palette. I am hoping that that means that they're gonna bring out another set of 21 foils, because they only have 7. They had 7 at launch, and then I believe they have also a nice dark plum, and they have Grandstand. They have a few other that were not sent to me that are also foils. But that said, this is going to be then a full matte eyeshadow palette, and I think that's nice. I think we need the shimmers, so they better bring out the shimmers soon, but I think it's a nice idea. And these are 6 new shades, these guys right here, and then here we have one of their best sellers, which is Peach Smoothie. My old one has quite a dip in it because I used it a ton, especially as a transition shade, as the first shade that goes into the crease, or the one that you use to blend closest to the eyebrow, the brow bone. So I don't use as much this technique anymore, but at the time when I was first learning, it was one of the best things ever to have a transition shade, and Peach Smoothie for warm looks was the bomb. I think I learned this from Jaclyn Hill. Yes, when she was still teaching me things. Anyways, these are the shades. I think it's a nice variety of more neutral pastels, and here we have nice colors. I'm really excited for the green. The blue looks nice. It could have been lighter, but I think it's a nice tone, and the pink and the purple, it's a pinky lavender. It's not too gray, so it's quite pretty. But let's start with swatching these, and then I will go on and do the comparisons. I am swatching these on a dry arm, no primer, and with my dry fingers. So that is that. And please keep in mind that they'll be quite close to my skin tone, especially these first 2. I'm starting with Peach Smoothie, which is a peachy shade. As you can see, indeed, it's quite difficult to see. And one of the first new ones, which is Bellini, which is a little bit more pink in undertone. I hope you can see the difference in undertone between the two. Then the next two shades are the pinks, and we have Cotton Candy, and you can see how it really progresses from peach to a little bit more pinky peach to actual dusty pink. And then we have even a brighter pink, which is called Pretty in Pink. And this is more pastel and more like brighter, lighter actual pink. Cotton Candy is more of a wearable shade, let's say, whereas Pretty in Pink is definitely pink. It has more white in it also as a shade, so it will suit, I think, only very light skin tones. On me, this will also look ridiculous already, but yeah, it will probably not suit very dark skin tones. None of these really will. Maybe the light blue and the light green will. Then we move on to the next two. We have Lavender Dreams, which is actually a beautiful lavender shade. It's quite bright and it's not, I don't know, it's not very dusty. It's not too, it's quite opaque. I really like it. It's a bright shade of lavender. And then we have the shade Code Blue, which is this beautiful sky blue. It's kind of the color of the sky today and makes me very, very happy. It's a beautiful sky blue. As you can see, it shows up quite nicely. They all, of course, just by the nature of them, have quite a white base. So especially these three and Bellini have quite a white base. So keep that in mind. It also means they're gonna be a little bit, they're gonna like blend out faster, and you're gonna lose intensity of the color because of it. And the final shade is my favorite, which is Mint to Be, which is a very light green shade. So here you have them all together, the new soft focus colors from Makeup Geek. And now we're gonna wipe all of this off and go one by one and compare them with other eyeshadows in my collection. First of all, I want to show you Peach Smoothie, the new one right here, compared to the old Peach Smoothie that you can see here. The color is unfortunately not identical, and you can see how the old Peach Smoothie is much lighter than the new one and much less orange. So the difference is already visible in the pan, but on the swatch I think it's very, very obvious. And then, of course, what I want to swatch next is the new shade Bellini, because that was the first thing that I thought is like, oh, then actually the old Peach Smoothie is closer to Bellini than it is to the new Peach Smoothie. I even checked the names. I got actually the names correct. And you can see that it's closer, but still the old one is much, much lighter and brighter. It could be that they wanted to make Peach Smoothie a little bit more universal for more skin tones. I'm not sure, but this is what it looks like right here. Next up, I want to compare these with some other neutrals. This is the old shade Buffed, and then we have the new Creme Brulee. I'm not going to swatch the old Creme Brulee because you cannot get it anymore, and I have compared the previous launch with the old shades in my other videos, so please go see that one if you're interested in seeing those comparisons. But here you have it. So the new Peach Smoothie is definitely much more orangey of a shade, and like a tone darker than the old one, which is closer to Bellini. So if you're looking for something that is like the old Peach Smoothie, get Bellini, I would say. And then here are Buffed and the new Creme Brulee. These are the more neutral transitions. Next up, we're comparing Cotton Candy to some other shades. Here it is, right here, this beautiful, very wearable pink. I love it. The first thing I thought was, oh, don't I have something similar? And I thought of Tuscan Sun. This is from their square release, so the newer one. And you can see that they're quite similar in tone, but the Tuscan Sun is deeper, whereas the new Cotton Candy is lighter. I think they complement each other well, and yeah, there's a place for both of them in my collection, in my makeup life. Then I thought, but wait, didn't I have another pink transition shade, and that was Cupcake, and I wanted to compare it. This is the old Cupcake from the round pans, definitely cooler toned pink, whereas this is the new Cupcake, which we know is different. They're both lighter, mauvier, cooler pinks than these two. So this comparison is right here. I don't have anything that looks like cotton candy in my collection. Next up, let's look at the purples. This is Lavender Dreams of the new shadows. And I thought the closest thing that I have in my collection is Crossroads by Lethal Cosmetics. But this is even lighter, more pastel, if possible. Let me do a second swipe so you can maybe see the color better. So you can see that Lavender Dreams is a bit darker. And I wanted to compare it to one of the old shades that they had, and this is Wisteria. And you can see that Wisteria, first of all, swatches are horribly. But again, it might also be just because they're very old. Like my Makeup Geek cosmetics are quite old. Here you can see the difference in color. Wisteria is cooler than Lavender Dreams, and a different shade of purple. And these are the only pastel purples I have to compare for you guys. So these are the purples. Next up, we have the blues, and we have Code Blue, which is the new Makeup Geek shade. I don't have anything like it from Makeup Geek's old eyeshadow, so I compared it with a few other brands. This is Lethal Cosmetics Remedy. Lethal Cosmetics is a bit more intense, as you can see, maybe a bit more neon, I would say. And then I have New Heaven by Nabla, which I feel like has a touch more green to it and white. It's a little bit of a different tone, but they're quite similar, all three of them. I don't think you need all three. And these are the blues. And finally, the green comparison. Here we have Mint to Be. Beautiful, beautiful. And I thought I'd compare it to a new shade for me, which is Replica by Lethal Cosmetics. They're very similar, with Replica being a little bit more green vibrant and Mint to Be being slightly lighter. But this is the closest to dupe that I found for these two eyeshadows. And finally, with Void, which is another Lethal Cosmetics eyeshadow, you can see this is a much more vibrant, acidic, and more pastel green. And then an old Makeup Geek green, which is Fuji, which is a satin. Never really loved this formula, and you can see that it's more yellow still than the new one. So these are the comparisons for the greens. So here you have it. These were all the swatch comparisons of the new Makeup Geek eyeshadows. They all retail, like all of their mattes, for $5.50, I think, $5.49, peanuts, which I think is a great price. I wanted to show you the palette with the shades that I just swatched for you, to show you a little bit the differences in the pans, but yeah, you saw most of my commentary and swatches already. Here you can see already the difference between the two peach smoothies right here. And yeah, this will be it for the video. Let me know in the comments if you like these, if you're excited for this launch. For me, I am, but it's the wrong time of the year. As you can see, I'm testing now different products. I'm in a different color mood. I'm not gonna use these until spring next year probably. So for that, I'm a bit sad because they missed on the opportunity of such a seasonal release. But I think it's nice that they have it out there, and they're working on restocking their big full color with these new ones on top here. For the matrix system, and yeah, I think it's a good release. I have yet to use them all on my eyes. As I mentioned, I'm just in a different makeup mood, and when I wear makeup, I'm nowadays leaving the house, so I am not playing with yeah, makeup looks that I don't wear then out of the house, and pastels nowadays not so much, but I'll make sure to test them further. So far from the swatches and what I've touched, and the two neutrals that I did use, Bellini and Peach Smoothie, they both seem very nice. The formula seems very consistent and very smooth, and I trust Makeup Geek, so I wouldn't be too careful in purchasing these. That said, I'll wait for my own review when it comes time and I have tried them all on, but I wanted to show you the swatches now that I had them out like this, because then I'm gonna probably switch them back into the palettes, put back all of my comparisons and use them as I go. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this swatch party, swatch fest, and let me know if you just want to do more of these with me. I like it, and I think it's a lot of fun to compare eyeshadows, and I find that this is the advantage of my very big single eyeshadow collection, is that I can compare a lot of things, and I love doing these things. So thank you again for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're not already. I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.